Welcome back to my painting the tour. A little bit about what's going on in the tour, a little bit about how to use watercolors, a little bit of about whatever pops in my head as I'm working on the piece. This is stage 6. Another hilly stage today. A stage where this guy on the front, Dion Smith, may reclaim his polka dot jersey. Right now he's coming up the second climb of the day. He took the first, picked up a point. He'll get over. Looks like actually his breakaway companions are going to let him get over the top first. And since only one of them have any points, and that was the guy who challenged him and found out just how good of a sprinter he is. So they'll let him go. That'll give him equal points, but the stage today ends with 2 climbs up a Cat 3, the Mur Bretagne. So most likely these guys will have been caught by then. They're now currently just over 7 minutes ahead of the peloton, but once the peloton decides to really chase, I'm sure they'll be pulled right back into the fold, as it were. So this time as they come up, no sprint, just watching each other, getting on with the job at hand. And of course, the longer they maintain their collaborative status, the better chance they have for staying away. As soon as they start attacking each other, then it's like, well, why am I going to work if you're going to attack me? Screw you, and yada, 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 yada. So, again, the way I like to do this is get the ink part laid out, get the painting architecture gridded, and whenever you're doing work, you want to sort of consider your composition. I once had a instructor tell me that the first 4 lines of your painting are the edges of the paper. Now, he may well have been trying to get me to think about how you relate the image to the page, but I took it as, well, screw that, I'm not letting anybody do my first 4 lines or any other part of my drawing. So I've never, and if you go to my website, gregleach.com, you'll see that on my large scale paintings and even these watercolors, I never work all the way to the edge. I let the composition sort of be composed by virtue of the of my lines. Again, you know, we artists can be rather cantankerous. So compositionally, I'm trying to lay this diagonal into the piece, something to move your eye through the painting. So we'll call this Reclaiming His Jersey, at least on the road. They call that a virtual jersey, if you'll see that phrase while watching the tour. I hope you are. And it just means that at this particular moment, should the race stop, then they would be the virtual holder of whatever jersey they're talking about. So right now, Dion is the virtual polka dot jersey, and depending on what happens at the end of the stage, he may or may not keep it. All depends on who if somebody takes both times up the mur, then they would be the leader in the competition. If somebody takes one and somebody else takes the other, then he will take over the polka dot jersey, unless he gets seriously dropped towards the end. And then with count back, he would not take over the jersey. It's complicated. So laying in the colors, I like to work warm to cool, pale to dark. So laying in flesh tones first. Now, the tour is pretty white this year. In fact, the only non-white African rider went home after the first stage due to illness. So far, 2 riders have left the tour for being sick. I mean, you have to think about it. You're putting your body under incredible stress, day in and day out. So just anything is going to set you over the edge. So that's the yellows and the flesh tones. This rather large woman sitting on the side of the road, or standing on the side of the road here, has some orange on. And we'll move on to the reds. Now, the tour is an international event, very much so, from riders, from fans, everything. So what we're capturing right here on the side of the road is the Colombian flag. A number of Colombians are in the race. 2 GC hopefuls. One on Education First, Rigoberto Urán. One on Movie Star, Nairo Quintana. But also, the gentleman who's won 2 of the stages is Colombian. 2 of the stages thus far, I should say. So they're certainly well represented. So to that point, that's a Colombian flag that I'm painting right there on the edge. Now, whether those are Colombians waving that flag, although I'd certainly assume they are, I don't know. But Colombians certainly very fond of their racing and very fond of particularly Nairo, but I'm sure they're also thrilled with what Gaviria is doing this year. So you'll notice I'm sticking the brush in the water to soften the cakes just a little bit, pick up the paint. And sort of gotten it to where it's intuitive, but sometimes you'll see me even dip it in and then tap off some of the water on the paper towel. That's what it's there for. Plus, when you want to wash out the brush, you get it nice and wet and run it on the towel. Pick up a little more paint. So I don't even think about that most of the time when I'm doing it. And that's the thing, the more you do something, the more muscle memory, more automatic it all becomes. Actually, let's put a little... This is one of the referee cars here in the side, following along, making sure nobody's cheating. There's about 4 or 5 referee cars. Usually the race director is in the car right behind the main peloton. There's motorcycles all over the place. This guy right here in the black is one of the cameramen. And the way we're getting this shot is from another DV cameraman. And there's an exciting job standing on a motorcycle, particularly for the guy shooting the one that I'm painting from, looking backwards, oftentimes standing, looking backwards. As they zoom along. The real exciting one must be when they are going down one of the alpine passes, 70, 80 kilometers an hour, standing up, looking backwards. The trust level you have to have for your driver is intense, because you don't know where the next turn is coming, you don't know anything that's going on. And you got your head looking back. So these paintings are all for sale. First come, first serve. This painting will be up on the blog probably around 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. This is just the first of what so far has consistently been 5 paintings per stage. That may change as we move along. It will probably never be less than 5. But the blog is theartofcycling.blogspot.com. Of course, that's all one word. The paintings those blog posts will link you to my website, gregleach.com, where you can purchase the work through a secure shopping cart feature. Our lady in orange here has some nice blonde hair, so we figure So clearly I've come back in to kick some other color in here. Just some little highlight moves. A little more flesh. I'm realizing, I'm sorry I don't have his name, but the Kofidis rider, that's an open jersey, so we need to see some of that manly chest hair. Alright, there you are. That's today's painting. Hope you enjoyed watching it come to life, and you will read the blog, check back tomorrow. Of course, if you like what you've seen, I'll hope you subscribe. I could use some more subscribers. And that you'll check out the blog, and you'll be back tomorrow. Thank you.